Hi everyone, how you doing? My name is Bilikis. You welcome back to my channel for a new tutorial which will be on how to make this trendy stiff puffy sleeve. And trust me, it is very easy to make, and I will be teaching you how to do that. If today is the first time of checking out my channel, you're welcome. Please make sure you subscribe, and you can follow me on social media, Instagram, Bilikis Signatures, and on Facebook, so innovations. Check out my other channel, Pattern Drafting with Bilikis. Yes, follow me. Pattern drafting. So right now, let's get started. First, you need your basic sleeve, as you can see that. The next thing will be your choice of fabric, and I'll be making use of the satin, as you can have here. And then I have a matching lining. And another thing you will need to make it stiff and strong will be your interfacing. And because the satin is quite thick, I'll be making use of this lightest interfacing. And I think it's good even for, because you don't want it too stiff. So I'm making use of this lightest interfacing, popularly called paper stay. It's very light, so that's what I will be making use for the sleeve. So right now, let's get to work. What I have to do is to fold up the fabric. So just fold once, and remember you'll be needing for 2 sleeves, but I'll be making a tutorial on just 1. After folding that, you place your pattern on it. You see, so you can have seam allowance. So, but seam allowance is already included in your pattern. So what you do is this: you have to place the fabric 1.5 to 2 inches away from the folded part. Why is this needed? That is because when you look at the thumbnail, you'll find out that the sleeve is wider than the bicep region. It is not fitted. If it is fitted, you use the exact measurements of the basic body, but here we want it to be wider and puffy. So just measure 1.5 to 2 inches away from the folded part. So having done this, you can, so here this is the, can you see, measure 3 inches. 3 inches is just nice. So make sure you are using a marker that's going to come out, but I'm making a tutorial, so everything I do has to be visible. So this is what I have. So that's that. You see, so all I have to do now is this: just go in about 3 inches or 2.5, and then I'm just going to connect straight to this point. See, just bring this into this part. I hope that is visible. So it stops here. Having done that, you have to make this part straight. This has to be straight. And that is it. We're good, it's done. I'll be using this as a template to cut out the lining. Meaning you'll be cutting out 2 of that. And you see, this is what we have. So all I have to do now is to cut the lining the same way. As you can see, so the wrong side is facing the wrong side, or if you are cutting it right side, has to face the right side. Having done this, the next thing I will do is to stick the interfacing gluey part to the main fabric. But if your fabric is light as a lining, then you can stick on both sides. but for me I'll just have to stick it on just the main fabric with my pressing iron. I've glued the interfacing to the fabric, and I had to double it to achieve this stiffness. You can see how beautiful that is. So all I did is to double it. Can you see? One, I glued the first one, then glued the second one to it. I just had to show you that. That was why I left that part. Good. The next thing we have to do now is to start sewing it up. The first thing you are going to do is this right side has to be facing the right side, and the first thing you will do is to sew up whatever seam allowance you left on the lower part alone. So I'm just going to sew half an inch down. I've sewn the lower part, as you can see that. This is how it looks on the other part. The next thing we are going to do now is this: open it up this way and then just fold it this way. And you see, then whatever seam allowance we left on the pattern, I left 1 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to sew from here down here. Can you see the way I folded it? This is the right side of both sides. Just fold it over this way and then sew in 1 inch all down. Try to trim off a little from the seam allowance. The next thing you are going to do now is just take it this way. You have to go back to the pressing, to the ironing board, just to give this part a nice finishing. So you might be wondering why we did that. That is to have a very neat finishing on the inside. Can you see? So I'll go back to the ironing board to just give it a good press all around, and then just pin all this up. Giving it a good press, so just look at the inside, so beautiful. Can you see that? Look at it, nice finishing on the inside, even the outside. Can you see that effect? It's so lovely. Can you see? So beautiful. The next thing now is for you to go back to the sewing machine. So all you can do is to just secure it with a basting stitch. So just start from here, just to secure it all around. Make sure it's like 1/4 of an inch, so that when you sew it up, the stitch will be showing up. Then now we can now pleat to have a beautiful sleeve. Get that up. Can you see that's so easy? So the sleeve is taking shape. The next thing you are going to do is to pleat it up. So anyhow you want it. If you want an inverted pleat here, this is the center, so you could do something like this. So you want to have something like this, or you could make it a box pleat, and this is to have something like this. So that totally depends on your preference, or you can just make a knife pleat. That totally depends on your preference. So let's just do that randomly, and you have to make sure after pleating it, whatever you have tallies with the measurement of this basic sleeve. That is very essential. So you can use the gathering method. So you gather it, then you can start adjusting. That's a good one for a beginner, but this also has its beauty. Pleating it, especially when we have an interfacing in it. So I'm just going to just keep doing this randomly before taking it back to the sewing machine to secure that up. It's quite thick because of the interfacing, so I can just make this face here. So looking at it, you can see it's taking shape. So I'm just going to pleat it all around and then show you. It, and I've secured it all. So can you see how wonderful that came? I'm so happy with the sleeve, so wonderful. Let me see that. So I'm going to take it back to the sewing machine just to sew down those pleats. Secure the pleats. Can you see that? And you can see how that looks now. So beautiful. Can you see? So what I'm going to do is to place it on the mannequin for you to see the beauty. So lovely. See what the stiff puffy sleeve looks like. This is just so beautiful and a must try for you. I really want to see lovely puffy sleeve like this, and if this tutorial has been helpful, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. For monthly classes and sewing tools, please use the contact number in the description box below. I have to go now, guys. Bye.